Guys, I'm Adam. Obviously, this is Leon.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Splendid. We're both here on a Sunday.
Asking them how you doing.
Oh, okay.
Not you.
Okay. We're here on a Sunday. Leon's just grinded out a big session and a bit of cardio, and we're just about to start at about 4. So you know, Sunday's definitely not the 7th day being day off for us. And I think we like to sit down when in particular topics come to mind, and this is something that obviously we've been exposed to so much over the last few weeks, few months. I mean, it's something that's going to be continuing to be exposed, and it's injury and dealing with injury and the mental mindset around it. And I'm going to come to what happened to Leon in a minute, and none of you will really know because he didn't voice it anywhere except for he had a game plan up his sleeve and he got the job done. And also what happened to me, was it yesterday?
Yes, yeah, squats, yeah.
Anyway, we won't go into that, but or we will, because I cop a beating anyway.
You talk about the 120 lift you did, and I was 190 I did. Yeah, we'll talk about that one.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened is, look, I was feeling great, and it actually wasn't even in the back of my mind, because now I don't doubt myself regardless. Oh, you can't. We're at that level now where there's that element of doubt. It definitely will.
It'll affect your performance for sure. If you go into a lift, especially your squats, deads, any sort of compound movement, and if you're going in there with any hesitation, you know, the powerlifters, why powerlifters are so great, they have a different mindset, man. They're ultra strong. They obviously don't fear as much as the next person. So, you know, I teach people and clients and Adam and myself to try to adopt that when we go and train, man. Any bit of doubt, and we're talking about injuries, and I've had every injury under the sun. Not necessarily from training, but from my background in soccer, you know, multiple knee reconstruction, 2 snapped ankles and stuff like that. But you know, there's no point complaining or whinging. If you get an injury, you just got to move on, get it rehab, get straight to it. Sometimes an injury can be a blessing, Adam. It can be also your body saying, hey, time to pull back. Now, based on what we're talking about our legs.
I really wanted to go back, because there's one from what happened in my case, and 2 what happened with Leon. But one is that I just had a little quad niggle that come back to remind me it's still there and I needed a bit of rest. I could have had a bit of a suki lala, as Leon calls it, and really got down on myself. But what I did, one, is I had the opportunity to watch Dave and Leon absolutely annihilated on the squat rack, where Leon's 4 weeks out from comp doing 190 kilo squats, which was insane. But I used that. I'm going, okay, well, the bar's been set. I went and did my shoulder workout. I knew I needed to give it a rest. And not only that, is obviously there's a lot of strategies regarding BFR, or blood flow restriction training, and many other strategies there. But I immediately took that into a positive, saying, one, my body, when we're pushing the boundaries, it does let you know in certain ways, and this way was my slight little niggle. But 2, I'll be smarter about the time of when I come back and I approach the squat rack. It might actually teach me to change a little bit of stance, bit of breathing, bit of technique, bit of bar positioning. So I take nothing but good things as far as that, and will apply them and stick to a game plan, because guess what? We deal with injury consistently, especially when you're pushing those limits of your physical capabilities. But whinging about it and stewing on it and being down about it will not change the situation at all. And
the positive one is Adam's injuries that I'm seeing at the moment is that I did say the day he beats me in squats, I'm going to skip him the whole gym and I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, no, that's just a joke.
There's a constant banter there. I love it, and obviously it pushes my physical. It is just insane, the level of not only banter. You've got to have your wits about you at this place.
You've got to be thick-skinned under this shed, don't you?
Absolutely. But leading into that, and I know Leon's going to talk about this, was that about 4 weeks ago, Leon was warming up, and obviously, as you've seen, the level of intensity and the poundages on the rack that Leon's exposed to. And not only that, hey, comp prep, there has been 0 excuses from his end. I just look at him and I ask him how he is. He goes, yeah, I'm fine. It's all good. But this instance, it was just, again, he was dealt the short end of the straw and had a little bit of a niggle, to the point where he was flat on his back and could not even move, and we nearly had to physically drag him out of here and get him in the car to go. And I wanted to basically highlight that because we both experienced these things in a very short period of time of each other, and how we both mentally deal with them. And you were straight back on the training paddock, and I really want you to sort of share the mentality behind it and the game plan of how you attacked it.
It was very odd. It was, again, feeling great. There was no indications of anything was going to happen. Straight out of the bar, there was like 120 on the bar, and all of a sudden, the whole back was just... Yeah, it was 120. the more warm-up. That's not my working setup, you know. The back just completely collapsed to the point where I'd hit the deck and was actually completely paralysed. Now, I couldn't actually move, and I actually crawled myself out of here. I didn't want the boys I didn't want to sit around. I thought, no, the boys need to finish their job. I need to get out of here. I need to find out what's going on, get it sorted, and then get back here. Anyway, a few hours later, I actually managed to come back in, and I finished off with a bit of blood flow restrictions on my quads. I sat on the leg extension, did a bit of stuff, but that aside...
And took a photo to prove that he was there as well.
that I'd come back. But then basically that afternoon, you know, I was bedridden for a couple of days, and then all I knew I had to do was just get in and get it fixed straight away. There's no point complaining, talking about it, or no point thinking about it. I wonder what it is. Just go to a specialist, get it sorted. Lennon King, he's the man. Get a couple of dry needles in it, and get it sorted, find out exactly what it is. And then basically 2 days later, I was under the squat rack. Oh, sorry, I had the whole week off, sorry. And then once I had that was off legs, obviously trained upper body. There was no excuses. I could still then, after a couple of days, hobble around. So hey, kept training. Didn't affect anything. Hasn't set me back one little bit. But what it has done is I took that full week off. The legs come back, and I started training legs every second day. Started from 60 kilo, 80, 100, 120, etc., and worked my way back up. And 4 weeks later, I'm actually I'm maxing my lifts out again. I just did it. Didn't talk about it, didn't complain about it. Just did what I had to do, and I was patient. And sometimes these injuries are, they are your body telling you, hey, knock, knock. You know what I mean? There's something going on. And it turned out that, you know, all the hip flexors were super tight, and I knew that. I just put it off. So, you know, served myself right for not taking the warning signs there. Yeah. But point being, at the end of the day, it's you know what I mean? I was patient. I didn't grovel about it. Just get on with it, get it fixed, and sure enough, you find that when you do an injury, you come back. You come back better. You come back stronger. You've kind of had a little bit of a layoff, a little bit of a rest.
Forced rest.
Yeah, and you find you get a little bit more cautious in your lift. You respect the bar.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you'll get under it, and you'll make sure you're set right. You're tight. Everything's perfect. So so sometimes it's a blessing.
I think and for those out there that are struggling with injuries or that have dealt with them before, it's about being able to turn that negative into a positive pretty much straight away, because in the end of the day, you've got to then turn and look at the positives. One, you're learning that you're sort of hitting a physical limit that you've got to work around. You train smarter, and every time know that an injury is it's like that half a step forward before half a step backwards before the 2 steps forwards.
Yeah.
It's that little learning curve that you might never have gone through if you didn't get injured. And in every single case under this roof that we've been injured, we've come back and surpassed anything as far as poundage wise. We've come back at one, respecting the bar, but two, I think your level of appreciation of training and the intensity that you're at too. So
yeah, I think the biggest thing that people need to learn is that the immediate, and I deal with these clients, you know what I mean, and say, especially ones online that I only speak to maybe weekly or a couple of times a week, whereas they might do an update and they might tell me 6 days prior they actually hurt themselves, so they haven't trained all week. Now, people's standard reaction to an injury is, injury, I can't train. So some people use that as an excuse to not train. No, unless you are completely bedridden, that's, of course, that's a different scenario. But you know, if you do your shoulder or something, well, you know, you can do legs. There's a million things you can do. So the minute you do an injury, be proactive and think about what can I do. No, don't think what you can't do. Most people think, I'm injured, I can't train. No, don't worry about that. Well, you're injured. Well, what's injured? Okay, what can I do? You know, you do a back. Well, okay, well, get in the gyms, and there's plenty of machines that you can just sit there and you can isolate yourself, and you can push, you can do arms, you can do anything these days. You know what I mean? The gyms are brilliant. There's no excuse not to be out of the gym, unless you're using a legit excuse not to be in the gym.
Yeah, no, I agree 110%. Too many people dwell on it for too long. And at the end of the day, it doesn't change the circumstances. What's happened's happened. You've just got to learn from it, deal with it, move forward, and use it as another learning curve in the road.
No one wants to hear it. No one wants hear you come in and start complaining, I'm injured. You know what I mean? It's very demotivating, especially with you're with the guys and you're out to train and someone walks in, I'm sore, I got this. You know what I mean? You're not helping your gym partner very much. You know what I mean? And we don't want to sound like we're big heroes and big he-men because we can get through injuries. It's just we're just stating the facts that the mental side of this game. If you're trying to progress, progression's only going to be happening from being consistent what you're doing. So you are going to train that hard. That niggly's going to come. Expect them. My injuries are going to be around the corner. More will come. They're never going to be able to avoid it. But I'm ready to be proactive and work out how am I going to get around it.
Fantastic. I think that sort of cut things off well as far as that's concerned, because it's something everyone's come across who's especially pushing the physical limits, and not only that, is how you mentally deal with these circumstances, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Mate, yeah, look at any elite athlete, mate. Look at any rugby league player, man. They're playing with needles every weekend. Look at they get knocked around. They've always got a niggly knee, shoulder, ankle, man. But they get through a whole 30-week season, whatever it is, plus pre-season training. So any elite athlete at the top of their game. Not that we're elite athletes, but you know what I mean. We train 6-7 days a week pretty hard. So it doesn't matter where you are or how high up the ranks you are. There's no excuse. If your goal's there, mate, you've just got to go and get it, and you just work around whatever pops up your way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that and got a little bit of some positive information from that to take it for if you are currently going through it, or you have in the past, or no doubt in the future you might come across something that's pulling you back just a little bit. But as I said, there's always that little half step back every now and then, but guess what, 2 steps forward. You'll always surpass anything following a little hurdle like this. Don't ever think of just the negatives.
That's it, mate.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much.